Hi, welcome to Buzz and Bark Animals. I'm Patricia, and we're going to be doing, I'm going to be doing some Reiki, and it's going to be for, I think it's going to be for grief. I mean, my own grief, and there's a lot of grief in the world right now because we're going through endings and we're getting ready for new beginnings, and there's just a lot of loss that can happen. There's also people who have animals that are either older animals that are getting ready to cross the Rainbow Bridge, or there's a hummingbird out there that's flying around. And, there's people who've lost animals recently and lost other loved ones recently. So this one's going to be for grief, and I'm going to be using Madison as my surrogate. I haven't used Madison in a long time. Kind of because I feel silly, like when I was learning Reiki, we learned how to do distance Reiki. And with distance Reiki, we use stuffed animals, or you can use your own body as a surrogate, or you can use, diagrams and different things. And I just thought the stuffed animal thing, I thought that can't possibly work, but actually it does. So you should see my giant panda that I have. I haven't used that one in a long time. It's actually packed up. Okay, so remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this channel, you can also make a donation. There will be a link below. And I also do remote Reiki and remote animal communication. And I'll leave that link below as well. So welcome new people to the channel and help me to keep building this. I haven't even made 100 subscribers yet, but I guess that's not really what matters. Just what matters is that I'm putting this energy out in the world, and it is going out whether people watch the video or not. And Reiki is powerful, and if you ever had a Reiki session yourself, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Or if you are a Reiki practitioner, then you definitely know what I'm talking about. And we could use way more Reiki in the world right now. Okay, so I'm going to clear the space. I'm going to use this thing so it's a little bit loud. And I'm removing all unwanted energy that is not serving our highest good. It says dragons on it. And I'm calling in the angels of the 6 directions, Metatron and Sandalphon, above and below. And in the 4 directions, Raphael, Gabriel, Michael, and Uriel. And they're holding the space. Call on your guides, my guides, call on the Reiki Universal Life Force. May the Reiki only go where it's needed for highest and best. And again, my intention today is to resolve grief, to remove it from mostly the heart chakra, and also to bring peace. So we're removing grief and we're bringing in peace. And that can be however you want to define that. Okay, some of the crystals I'm going to be working with are going to be the orange calcite. This is actually more, I have 2 ones to bring more light in, because the light gets in where the cracks are, and when you're grieving you have lots of cracks. So we've got the sunstone and also the orange calcite. For grounding, I have this, oh god, I can't remember the name of it. Anyways, it's fossilized seaweed. I think it's called seraphinite. I think that, no, it's not seraphinite. I can't remember what it's called. Anyways, it's a fossilized seaweed, and it's really good for grounding. It's also good for healing, and it's really good for self-healing. So I'm going to bring that one in. And then I'm bringing in my beloved rose quartz crystal for the heart chakra. The sunstone is also for the heart chakra and the solar plexus. And then for calming and peace, I've got the amazonite. So I'll be putting those in there. I'm going to start with the Reiki symbols. I wish I had some music in the background. This is the power symbol. And if this was a healing in person, I would be running this over the body or in the space, the 4 corners of the space. But because this is a remote and on a computer, I'm just doing it like this. Okay, this is the emotional healing one, which is really going to be powerful today. Really calling on this energy here. And the power symbol basically powers up all the other symbols. It's the master symbol. Well, it's the master symbol for levels 2 and 1 in Reiki, and then there's another master symbol for if you're a Reiki master, which is Daikomyo. Okay, now I'm going to do the power symbol again. There are just so many birds out there. Every time I do Reiki, all the birds come to the window. Okay, I'm going to do the distance symbol. This is how I can send this out through all time and space. Past, present, future. Because there is no past, present, future. Okay, and we end with the power symbol. Okay, if I had like a space spray, I would be spraying that right now. Of course, we've got the angels in the space. We've got the Reiki Universal Life Force. Let me do the singing bowl just to bring some more calming. And remember, this Reiki is for your pets and yourself. And if you want your pets to receive the Reiki, but you don't want to receive it, you can cross your arms or your legs or your fingers, whatever. And if you want to receive the Reiki with your pet, which is what I recommend, then don't, uncross everything and just relax. And we'll take some deep breaths. You can close your eyes if you want to. You can sit back if you want to. If you're multitasking, it won't be as successful as if you're actually just relaxing with the Reiki. I know that some Reiki practitioners and masters will say that it's okay to do other things while the Reiki's in the background. And you can do that, but it's more effective if you're actually just relaxing with it. I'm also going to add some visualization to this Reiki because I think it makes it engages more of the senses. If you don't want to do the visualization, you don't need to. You can receive the Reiki either way, but it is more powerful because some people are more visual, some people are more more sensation, feel things. Some people like to see things and other people like to hear it. Okay, so let's take our deep breaths where we breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and breathe out for 8. And the reason we breathe out longer is because you actually calm your nervous system when you're exhaling, not when you're inhaling. When you're inhaling, you're powering up your nervous system and your body, and when you're exhaling, you're actually you're regulating it, you're calming it down. And so the longer you go on the exhale, the more potent it is. But there's different breathing techniques out there if you want to explore that on your own. I actually breathe out for 10, but for some people that might be a little more difficult. The other thing you can do is if your pet is either laying in your lap or laying near you, is you can put your hand on the animal while you're doing the deep breaths. And if their breathing rhythm or whatever is going to be different than your own, but you can still sync your breaths. It just won't be the same exact count. Or you can just maybe stroke the animal or, that sort of thing while they're calming down. Now, some animals don't lay down for the Reiki, or they don't sit down for the Reiki. They'll move around the room. They're still receiving the Reiki. They're just receiving it on their own. Or you may have an animal that you have your door ajar in the room that you're in, and the animal will come in and leave and come in and leave and come in and leave. They're still receiving the Reiki, and it is a distance Reiki. And I've even seen in-person Reiki with the animal leads Reiki, where the practitioner will just stay in the middle in a meditative state, and then the animal will come and receive and come and receive and leave, and then, they don't just put their hands on the animal. The animal is sitting still. That's another form of Reiki, and both of them work, but one of them gives the animal more control over the situation. So, and then the last thing I'll say is when, before I start the visualization, is when we complete the Reiki session, make sure that you drink a glass of water. Purified water is better, even for your pets, and make sure that your pets are hydrated throughout the day, and that you stay hydrated throughout the day, because you'll be removing unwanted energy from your chakras and your energy systems, and also you'll be creating space for new energies to come in, which will be peace. That's what we're going to be sealing with. Okay, so first thing I want you to imagine, for your pet and for yourself, or telepathically your pet can do this on their own, is that you're sitting at the base of a tree, and it needs to be a large tree, not just a little thin tree, but like a large tree where you would actually, it'd be wide enough to have your back on the tree, on the trunk of the tree. And then whether you're sitting cross-legged in this visual, or you might even be outside doing this, or if you're laying down on the ground, that's another way to do it. But you want to imagine roots from your tailbone and your core, and also your feet, going all the way down and traveling with the root of the tree into the earth. And then you'll travel down further. Your roots will go all the way down to the middle of the earth, which is the biggest gigantic quartz crystal you possibly can imagine. And you will be anchoring yourself to that. And then from that, your roots will turn into like straws, and they're going to suck up that energy of Mother Earth. They're going to bring it all the way up through the earth to the soles of your feet, up your legs, up all the way into your spine, all the way up your body. And then it's going to be on your all the way to your crown. And then we're going to send off these beautiful cords all the way up into the heavens, right, with the stars and all the rest of that. And then we're going to bring in that universal Reiki light from the heavens, and we're going to bring it all the way down, and then it's going to go into the crown, and then it's going to go, the third eye, and the throat, and the heart, and then it's going to sit in the heart. And then the other energy from the earth is going to sit in the heart. And so we're going to be working with the heart chakra mostly. I'll be balancing all the chakras. I'm intending to do that. However, we're going to be working with the heart, because that is where we store grief. That is where we have joy. And that is where we have peace. And you can also have peace in the mind. So we're going to be doing the Reiki to bring us into balance in the heart. And you can imagine whatever light you want, or you can feel it. So whether you have a visual ability, and also imagine this for your pets, or you want to just use sensation, like you can feel it, or maybe you can just hum or something like that, where you can get a vibration in your heart. So that's what we're going to be working with. And I'm going to just be doing all the hand positions on the surrogate. But first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run these Reiki symbols again over the surrogate, so that everybody's going to get another another wave of this energy. And this emotional healing one, I'm going to mostly just put on the heart. So the heart area, I guess you could do it like this. And then this is going to be a little hard, because I'm having to use my, I only have 2 arms and 2 hands. I wish I had something to put this on, but then you won't see it on the camera. Because normally what I'd like to do is use the rose quartz and the oops, the emotional healing symbol at the same time. See how awkward that is? So the rose quartz is a master crystal, although the quartz is the real master crystal. But it is a very super high frequency crystal. And a lot of people don't realize that because it's so common. And its main focus is on the heart. And so we're basically pulling out grief, and we are dissolving it. But that doesn't mean you're not still going to feel it, and you'll still go through the grieving process. It's just going to be more gentle. So this does not replace the grieving process, it just softens it. And it allows you to keep your heart open, because a lot of the times when we're grieving, we close our heart, and that's not healthy for us. You need to feel whatever you need to feel. Find a safe space to do that. And so what we're doing right now is I want you to visualize whatever, if you want to visualize pink light, green light, amber light, white light, whatever you want to visualize for the heart, your heart and the hearts of your pets if they're grieving over anything right now. Now I know that there are some animals out there who just lost a companion, could be a human or another animal, and they are grieving. They don't show it in the same way that we do. So let's address that now. And I'm actually just going to put it on the animal like this. And then I'm going to use the and the heart would really be more in this area, but since I have this weird awkward camera thing, I'm just doing it like this. Reiki's all about intention. Okay, and I don't think I'm gonna use the surrogate. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna see how I do this. I think I want to just do more of the visualization. So I'm using my own heart as a surrogate, and I want to bring some light in. So I'm going to use that sunstone. So I want to really concentrate on that. So let's just do that. And also visualize where your belly button is, that there's just a really gigantic sun in the middle of your body, and it does go all the way up where your heart is. And that would be like a golden color, a yellow, or a combination of white, yellow, orange, any of those colors, and just make it as bright as you possibly can. And you can also do this for your pets in the center of their body. Although I think they're doing it for themselves. And I'm intending that the energies of the Grand Central Sun come and help us heal right now. I'm asking it to help us. And Archangel Raphael, the angel of healing and the heart. And if the mind tries to get in there and rationalize all the emotions away, not really healthy. So let's just bring in some Amazonite for that, to soften the mind, allow the mind to allow the emotions to come up. The mind can sometimes act as a gatekeeper and keep emotions out. No, we don't want to be overly emoting, but at the same time, we don't want to not have emotions, because it gets repressed and then it turns into what we call disease. I'm not a healthcare practitioner, and if you do have health issues, please go see a professional health practitioner. Man, this is really powerful. I'm also going to work on the throat chakra right now. Because grief can get stuck in the throat. And this can cause like stiffness in the neck and sore throats and all kinds of things. Thyroid issues for some people. Again, I'm not a healthcare practitioner. If you have issues with those, please see one. Let's bring in some of this sunny orange calcite. Yeah, because you know how when you're grieving and you just want to, you just want to have some moments of joy and some brightness, and when you have those moments, you feel guilty. This is to remove that guilt. You're allowed to feel joy. You're allowed to feel everything in the emotional spectrum, no matter what goes on in the world. It's your choice, without guilt. Because joy is what sustains us. Peace, love, those things sustain us. Gratitude. Remember to practice gratitude even when you don't feel like it, because it's really important and it's very healing for the body. But again, we're going to feel everything. We just don't want to get stuck in the darker, denser energies for too long. We need them to flow through us. We don't want to resist them, but we also don't want to hold on to them and grasp at them or justify anything with them. I'm going to use this one to help us get out of our brain, because you can, get those ruminating thoughts and things like that. So let's just kind of clear those. In fact, I'm going to bring my tornado tool. Visualize a tornado going through your body, your brain especially, your headspace, and just removing all the negativity, like all the shoulds and shouldn'ts and the doubts and the fears and the guilt and the shame and the self-pity and all of that. Let's just have that tornado just go rip through that. If you've ever seen a tornado go across the land, I've never seen it in person, thank God, but some people have. Just imagine that symbolism going through your mind, your monkey mind, and just clearing out like anything that is not for your highest good and is not healing for you or your pets. Or any, negative thoughts you might be sending to your pets, such as if they're sick and you're thinking they're going to die, and so you're sending these death or whatever, or they're never going to get better, whatever negativity you have in your own mind about them. Let's just take that tornado tool and just wipe that all out, because it's not healing for you and it's definitely not healing for them, and we need to become conscious of our thoughts because we're sending them out. Think of yourself as a satellite. Or maybe things are bouncing off you, I don't know. Okay. So now I'm removing all of those unwanted thoughts, and I don't mean that I'm not saying that we send grief away and those sorts of things, but there's these other negative thoughts that are seeds that get planted And they're really nothing to do with the grieving process. They just put us in a very low place, and then we have a harder time going through the grieving process because of all the guilt and shame and all the rest of that. Now, if you are dealing with that and you've had a loss of a loved one, including a pet, you might want to get some grief counseling. If you're finding out that you're stewing over your thoughts and getting stuck in a very dark place. So only the emotions and the feelings and thoughts that we need that are for our highest and best may remain, and we are removing all the other extraneous things. But you still, Reiki will do what it does. It will come into your body and you work with it. It'll go into your animal's body and you work with it. So you will hear from your spirit guides. You'll get insights, intuitive hits. You may end up at a store and you end up buying some kind of remedy, or a friend tells you about, I don't know, some kind of healer or counselor or something, and then you follow through with that. So Reiki just brings things into our space, and it can also do its own kind of energy healing work as well, because it rebalances the chakras and the energy centers and the meridians, softens everything. The other thing you can visualize is just being on a beach. Picture yourself maybe as, I don't know, something on a beach, and the waves just kind of come over and wash away and come over and wash away, come over and wash away. You don't want to visualize yourself in a negative way with the ocean, but just something very gentle. Or maybe a waterfall, like you go underneath a waterfall and the waterfall goes through all your body and releases what you don't need anymore. Or a waterfall of light, and you can do this with your pets as well. You can visualize them with the light cascading through them. Comes through your crown, just goes all the way down, and it just melts away. Now I'm going through my own grieving process right now. We just lost a relative. So this is just as much for me as it is for any of you out there. Okay, so now I want to bring in energy. We just removed energy. We're going to bring in some new energy. And the energy I want to bring in is brightness, hope, optimism, joy, gratitude. And for the gratitude, just think of one thing you're grateful for. If you can think of 10 things, that's even better. But if you can only think of one thing, and not something that says, at least I don't have this, that's not gratitude. It has to be something that you truly feel grateful for, such as the sun, warmth, maybe drinking water, food, a soft bed, whatever it is, just it could be a little thing, it could be a big thing. But that's going to open up your heart. Every time you do gratitude, it's going to open up your heart. And your energy field spills over to the pets, your animals, and everything around you. So by keeping your energy field clean and bringing in this really bright energy, that actually your animals are receiving it and you're receiving it. And so they're doubly receiving it. Okay, and this is the one I'm using for peace. So let's just bring in some peace. Okay, and so for this, visualize a place that is really peaceful for you and your pets. It could be anywhere. It could be in an apartment building, in a high, in a tower, if that's peaceful for you. Or it could be a natural setting. Or it could be, something that doesn't even exist on this earth, but only exists in your imagination. But as long as it makes you feel peaceful, let's just pull that in. And if everyone watching this video does that, it's going to spread around the world and bring some more peace. For me, it's a beach. It could be a mountain, though. It could be anything. It could be the Grand Canyon. During off-tourist season. And finally, let's get some grounding. So we're bringing in all this energy, and now we need to ground it and integrate it and make it useful for our lives. And you've already got your roots in the ground and the crystal, and this will help you get grounded. And also Sandalphon is the angel that helps us ground. Metatron clears our headspace. Raphael brings healing to our heart. Michael brings protection. Uriel brings wisdom. Gabriel brings messages. I don't know why I can't remember the name of what this is. Okay. I am closing the Reiki session now. May the Reiki continue to flow where it's needed for highest and best. And I'm releasing the angels of the 6 directions and any other helpers who have been here. The intention is to relieve grief and to bring in peace. May it be so. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Again, if you would like a session, then go to Metaphysics for Everyday Living, or if you want to make a donation, you can do so with all the links below. And that would be to support this YouTube channel. Have a wonderful week with you and your pet bonding. Bye for now.